efforts in the world of professional sports, here is Lieutenant Governor John Hager.
Gentlemen, start your engines! 25,000 horsepower come to life on Fifth Road in Richmond, Virginia, as ESPN joins the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing in celebrating its 50th anniversary. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, a battle of makes and men. Chevrolet has won all the previous championships, defending title of Sprague and 96 champ Hornaday, joined by Young Bucks, Houston, and Cook as 98 winners. Ford found success early. Virginia's own Stacy Compton won twice, and then Tony Raines upped the ante last time out, his third win of the year. Let's talk Dodge. Keselowski scored a career breakthrough here last year. Jimmy Hensley has won this year. The Ram Tough boys determined to make it 2 in a row at Richmond.
But it is going to be a very tough go for Bob Keselowski, the defending champion. They missed the setup entirely. He qualified 30th. There's only 36 trucks in the field. Jimmy Hensley has a better shot. He qualified 12th, and he has 5 top 10 finishes in a row. And since June at Bristol, he has moved from 23rd to 7th in the points. Bill Weber.
The front row tonight is Ford versus Chevy. Joe Ruttman has his second pole of the season, and he's currently third in points, just 116 out of the lead. Next to him, the Chevy of defending series champion Jack Sprague, just 26 points out of the lead. The tightest the points battle has ever been this deep in the season. Where's the man they're trying to catch? Behind them, Ron Hornaday rolls off 7th as 36 stars get ready to shine under the lights at Richmond.
It is a monster weekend for Speed World and for race fans in this neck of the woods. Virginia is for lovers of short track racing. Tonight it's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series battle for the championship at Richmond International Raceway. And what a championship battle it is. Just 26 separate the leader Hornaday from the defending champ Sprague. Ruttman is on the pole tonight, and Tony Raines is coming on like a late season freight train after his win last week in Louisville. Hello everyone, I'm Dave Despain. We welcome you to Richmond. He's Benny Parsons. He owes me an explanation about a piece of sweet potato pie, but we'll get to that later. Right now I want to ask you about 7 different winners in 7 different weeks. This is a heck of a series.
It really is, and not only different winners, everything about the Craftsman Truck Series in 1990 says it's more competitive. Check it out, more lead changes, more race leaders, more winners, and also more pole winners. The Craftsman Truck Series in 98. One of the brightest stars in NASCAR.
Put it all together, and it makes for a great forecast for racing here this evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup. The oldest man on the tour, 53 years and 10 months old. Joe Ruttman has his second pole of the year. The defending series champion Sprague alongside.
In row 2, Rick Corelli on the inside, won in Bristol in 96, and Rick Crawford, the winner in Homestead this spring.
Back in row 3, Rich Bickle comes back to the Truck Series, and there's a story about how he got here. Lonnie Rush with another great qualifying effort outside row 3.
In row 4, the 96 champ, Ron Hornaday, and Ernie Irvin, his second start in the Craftsman Truck Series in 98.
The ever-reliable Mike Wallace is inside row 5, flanked by Terry Cook, who won his first truck race ever this year at Flemington.
On the inside of row 6 is Barry Bodine, his 11th start this year, and on the outside, Jimmy Hensley, the Nashville winner.
Row 7 have accumulated 5 series wins this year. Compton has 2, but is ill tonight. Raines has 3, including the most recent at Louisville. And as we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, Benny, one of the big issues, it seems to me, is that these guys all qualified for these starting positions in afternoon sunshine, and now will race under the lights.
All the practice has been done today in the sunshine, and this is the only time these trucks have seen the darkness tonight, so who knows about the setup. These guys we're seeing back in row 13, 14, 15, they second hit, Dave, the perfect setup, and marched their way right through the field to the front.
You can do a lot of passing here, and that's good news for the likes of Winston Cupper, Bobby Hamilton back in the field, Keselowski, to whom we alluded. And look at the guys in the back. Houston's won a race. Harvick has a provisional. Laura said with a provisional. Some surprises back there. Wayne Anderson crashed the truck, and as a result, is in a backup. And Benny, a lot of guys just flat didn't make this show because there were so many trucks here.
11 drivers go home. The most notable probably is Tammy Jo Kirk will go home. One of the regulars in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Talk about the battle for the championship. The manufacturer's championship also tight and even split between Chevys and Fords tonight, and just 2 points separating them in the battle for their title. Here's your race analysis. And Benny, full-on pit stops tonight. No mid-race break.
No mid-race break. These trucks will start. There we see all of our onboard cameras. There's Johnny Chapman in the 66 truck this night.
Got 8 onboards to bring you all the action as we come down looking for a green flag. Should be ready to go this time. And the Virginia is for Lovers 200 is underway. That's the 14 of Crawford. And Ruttman has lost 3 spots and will lose more than the black flag this time by.
And Jack Corelli going by Sprague taking the lead. There's Rick Crawford at 14. And there we see Ruttman pulling over. He will come down pit road this time.
Wow. Well, I've seen a lot of different things. I don't know that I've ever seen the pole sitter black flagged on the initial start of a race.
Well, it happened to his teammate, Greg Biffle, out in Portland, Oregon. This year, qualified on the pole with black flag for the start. We see Ruttman coming down slowly coming to you, Marty.
Yeah, and the team is so disappointed. I mean, they're still shaking their heads saying, wait a minute, I thought we set the pace. But the black flag in effect, he will come in. I'm waiting to see if they're going to do anything else other than the stop and go. Whoa, and he sort of drifted through that one, but he's lost the lap already.
Up into 4th spot goes Mike Wallace as pole sitter Joe Ruttman from his 2nd pole of the year. Now, that didn't last very long. He's going to be in the back and playing catch-up with the rest of the boys. Corelli, who led the first race here and has now led this one. Here's a move on the inside as Bickle goes doorpost to doorpost with Hornaday. The 15 and the 16, you're on board with Hornaday. Comes back to qualify 5th here, Benny, in this Turbine Solutions truck. And what's the story on Turbine Solutions?
Last year at Darlington, the guy that owns Turbine Solutions was standing on the outside of the fence yelling in the garage area, take my money, take my money. Well, hey, we got to spin that in the corner, almost a spin.
No caution yet.
We're going to get the yellow flag. The caution is out. There is Barry Bodine.
When you get here.
Spotters talking their men through the remainder of the lap as Barry Bodine spun, gathered it back up, and continued on. And we'll see what kind of cleanup they may need to do over there in turn 2. So the guy standing outside the garage area hollering at the teams, take my money.
Take my money. And finally, somebody from Cale Yarborough's team went over and talked to him. He became an associate on Cale Yarborough's Winston Cup car. So there's the connection with Rich Bickle, and he's a sponsor on the truck up here.
And they tell me they're going to do a couple of 3 truck races. They may do a couple of Busch races, and they're considering the possibility of going Cup racing. Unbelievable. Take my money. Here's another look at what happened to Bodine.
And then we see some contact between Ruttman in the 99 and Barry Bodine. Greg Biffle just lucky to get through. There we see Bodine.
Barry's not bent up, didn't hit anything, just turned it around backwards and brought out the first yellow of the evening. We'll take a break at Virginia for Lovers 200. and he started on the pole. They got black flag to the back. He bumped into Barry Bodine, turned Barry around, and so now Bodine and Rutman are both at the back. And here's another look from Tony Raines' point of view. Check the right-hand corner of your screen. Tony doing the swerve and go. Stayed out of trouble. Continued onward. Raines with a bit of catching up to do here this evening. Let's find out more about pit strategy from Marty Reed.
Well, there's enough fuel in each one of these trucks. They could make it in one stop, but tire wear here at Richmond is critical. So most teams will go with a minimum of 2 stops, but the teams towards the rear of the pack, do not be surprised at around lap 40 if we see some of those teams running a 3-stop race and counting on their pit crew to give them track position by the end.
Added a new dimension to truck racing, and from this point forward through the rest of the series, all of the races will have full-on pit stops. Here's Rutman in the back after the black flag, and here is the offense that earned him the black flag.
See him come off the corner. Wow.
Joe figured it was time to go, but the starter had not yet lofted the green, and so as a result, Rutman is going to have to try to pass the entire field here tonight in order to win this 200-lapper on the 3/4-mile racetrack. And that is Rutman zipping through your screen right there to come up alongside Rick Corelli, who is the race leader as we get set to go back to green here. Corelli on the point, Rutman alongside. Don't jump it again, Joe. They will come down for the restart on lap 11. I'll bet he'll wait this time. Had a notion, didn't he?
Well, on the start of the race, the flagman starts the race. On the restart, the leader starts the race.
Rutman can't get around Corelli, and so Rick will lead it with the lap truck of Joe Rutman between him and Jack Sprague. Second ranked in the championship standings. There's Crawford in the 14, sitting in 3rd spot. Winner at Homestead. Double file back in the pack. Bliss going inside on Stacy Compton. Bliss led most of the Louisville race and then was passed late by Raines to lose it. Compton, who's won twice this year, is a very, very happy guy because they've signed the RC deal for another 2 years, and his face is going to appear on 5 million six-packs of RC Cola through the rest of the year. The bad news is he's not feeling very well. He's got a stomach virus, hasn't been able to keep any food down for the last couple of days. So
For a week.
yeah, he's struggling a little bit. He's got me feeling awfully weak.
For 1 week, he's been struggling. Never seen Rutman trying to get on the inside of Corelli, trying to get that lap back, or trying to get in front of the leader, and then hoping that a caution flag comes out and he'll be able to go all the way around the racetrack. He's there this time.
Rutman gets the run. Can he make it stick as they go to 3? He's got the spot. Caution now. He's back on the tail of the field. Behind him, the top 4 are Sprague, Crawford, Wallace, and Irvin. And here come the rest of them. Deeper in the field, a lot of side-by-side action back at about 20th spot. The number 1 truck, the black truck, is Bobby Hamilton out of the Winston Cup Wars, trying to get away from the battle between Renfro, Zawinski. Who else is in that? Andy Houston in the 60 are riding with him right here.
And that's Brett Bodine in the black number 11 that says Nicholas on the back of it for Nicholas Golf Equipment.
And the 31 of Zawinski was kind of a question mark for the race. Boy, qualified okay, but they got another problem.
And we see
Oh, he about had a problem there. About got her into the wall.
this is Johnny Chapman in the 66 of Carlin Berner's car tonight. And Zawinski in qualifying lost all the belts off his car, including the oil pump belt. Evidently, the engine was okay, and I think I said cars. These obviously are pickup trucks.
At the buck, we'll put her in the till, no problem. Zawinski with apparently a healthy truck here this evening, although there was a lot of concern that he might have hurt the truck.
And Lonnie Rush
Getting way up out of line.
way out of line as we see Terry Cook trying to drive on the inside of Rich Bickle. That's Bickle in the 15. Terry Cook in the 88, James Sauter in the 3, and Jimmy Hensley in 43.
The Ohio boy slipping to the tail end of the top 10 there. Cook out of Sandusky. Keselowski, and this is Rush with a nudge. The Columbus, Ohio boy sliding up the hill, didn't hit anything, drops to the tail end of the top 10. Like that Buckeye paint job, though. He says that's bringing him some good luck. For the lead, Sprague looking over the tailgate. Looking pretty close. What's a close-up look? He'll move Corelli out of the way and take the lead. Crawford says maybe I can make that work from third.
See Ernie Irvin back. Oh, let me see Johnny Chapman. Unscheduled pit stop coming down pit road.
Chapman had been running decently, but now appears to have a problem. He'll go in for service as Sprague quickly opens up a gap on Corelli. Ernie Irvin sitting back there, calm, cool, and collected in the 28, right there. Fourth spot, trailed by Mike Wallace. Hornaday, who's up to 6th now. Series point leader, but not by much over Sprague. Had a terrible race at Louisville. Mechanical problems hampering Hornaday's run here. Looking to make up for it tonight. He had a bad race in this race last year, too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Didn't get it right. Struggled all night. Wound up 16th.
Jack Sprague is by far the fastest truck in the first 9. He's running laps around 118 miles per hour. All the other trucks in the 117 mile per hour range. So right now Sprague is slowly pulling away from the competition. And there's Ernie Irvin looking on the inside of Crawford. Irvin, the Federated Auto Parts truck, will take the spot away.
Let's go to Bill Weber real quick.
Well, the 66 of Johnny Chapman's been on pit road twice. The first time to examine the front end, it's patched in from where he ran into something. He also pulled a little tape off it and put in some fuel in the tank. Then he had to come back in, stop and go penalty for violating the plane line. So a couple of costly errors early for Chapman.
They had a notion there to try to split the 52 of Wallace and the 14 of Crawford, but now as Crawford washes up the hill, both Wallace and Hornaday will go by and drop Rick back to 6th. Meanwhile, Sprague is out there trying to run down Ruttman and put him back a lap down. We'll take a commercial break and be back with more. Welcome back. Caution on the speedway. Brian Ruffner has had a short night here in the number 26 truck. He's in the middle of the backstretch and has brought out the caution after hitting the inside wall. Ruffner, of course, lost the ride in the 66 truck earlier and is now in the 26.
And check out the fire in the brake, the right front brake there.
Oh, yeah. Fortunately, there's a fire truck close by.
Yes.
Big weekend here at Richmond. They'll run for the Bud Pole tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern Time. You'll be seeing that on ESPN2. And then, of course, it's the Busch Cars and the Autolite Platinum 250 tomorrow night at 7:30. RPM tonight on Saturday kicks it off at 5:30 Eastern Time, followed by NASCAR today at 7. And then the Excite NASCAR Select Batteries 400, the Winston Cup cars. Can anybody stop Jeff Gordon? That'll be at 7:30 Eastern Time on Saturday. Racing continues throughout the weekend, and we continue to cover it. On Sunday, RPM today kicks it off at 12:30 Eastern. And then we're going to Memphis for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. That'll be at 1 o'clock Eastern on the big network. And the Kart FedEx Series Honda GP of Monterey featuring the Texaco 300. I would say that one's paid for. That's immediately following the truck race on ESPN. Marty's got an update.
Well, you guys mentioned Memphis, and we're heading there as soon as we get done here tonight. And unfortunately, Brian Ruffner, the one thing he reiterated right before the start of the race is, man, all I don't want to do is crash because we want to take this truck to Memphis.
Mike Midler owns the truck. Mike is from St. Louis, and as Ruttman comes in and tops off the tank to go to the tail end of the field, Midler, I should say, is the guy. He's been involved with all those St. Louis guys. Wallace came out of there, was buddies with Midler, and he's gotten involved with Ruffner, and they put together a couple of trucks, but now one of them's bent. That means they won't go to Memphis. We're going to take a break for this caution and be right back. We're back at Richmond, and this is the reason for the caution, and the safety vehicles clearly outnumber the wreck truck of Ryan Refner. Now, they're taking some time getting this cleaned up and getting it moved out of the way. ESPN, I watch it all the time. I love that network. That is the Goodyear blimp. Fortunately, you can see ESPN even if you can't see Goodyear on there. Thanks, guys, for the freebie. They're going to be working all weekend long as we cover the action here at Richmond through the trucks, the Busch cars, and the Cup cars. Rick Crawford gone backward a little bit here in the last few laps. What's up with that, guys?
Well, Rick Crawford has lost a couple of positions in the last few laps, and basically he says when his truck gets behind, he's doing okay. It's when somebody gets behind him, it loosens him up quite a bit. He really is most pleasurable when it's out by himself, though, running free of traffic, not really worried about picking up too many positions this early in the race. But the big thing here is they might want to try to put a spring rubber in the right front to correct that problem. And now, because they have full 4 pit stops, they won't have to wait till halfway to do this. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Update on Rick Corelli. The reason he lost the lead, he reported in the truck's getting a little loose, guys, so they may try and tighten that up. And in the 16 pit, I'll tell you what, Ron Hornaday's got a big cheerleading section tonight. We've got Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Park, Tony Uri, and the entire pit crew from the Busch team. So they're all here in the pit, and they're all got a great seat watching their guy trying to move to the front.
Hornaday has picked up a couple of positions, started 7th, now runs 5th, and there he sits. 5 victories this year, tops in the series.
Get him a drink of water, that plastic tube that he has. There's a thermos someplace with some ice water, so on these caution flags, you get some little sip of water. You can do that with the open face helmets. There's our onboard cameras. There's our Granger on board with Greg Biffle. There we saw Tony Raines. There we see the, I know that guy, Boris said. There's Mike Bliss.
I was thinking Ernie Irvin the whole time we were looking at that thing. So,
and Ron Hornaday.
Back with Hornaday, who was a busy boy on Labor Day weekend. Well, I'll save that story for later. We're getting ready to go back to green. Bringing a mighty good truck. When the caution came out, let's see if he can run away from Corelli again. Hornaday wants a piece of Wallace right off the bat. Couldn't get around. Wallace got back down on the line.
And here's a battle for the 3rd spot. Ernie Irvin taking a look on the inside. Couldn't quite make it. And I tell you what, I don't know if it's going to stand, but Kevin Harvick must have picked up 15 spots on that restart.
A word of a black flag yet. Harvick, who had to take a provisional, is definitely going to the front. He is at 15th spot. We'll be looking for him.
I'm sorry, he only picked up 4 spots on that restart. He was running 19th, and that time by was running 15th. But you can pass on the outside, and trust me when I tell you, folks, he was on the outside. There he is, looking on the inside of Bliss.
This is from 32nd starting spot for Kevin Harvick. That's pretty impressive, 39 laps. That's earning your money right there. Bliss, as you've heard, is gone from this truck for next year. The question is whether this truck will be here next year. Published reports from the Craftsman publicists say yes, but Jimmy Smith is still kind of equivocating a little bit about that. Possibility to make a Busch racing next year, so rather than report the rumors, we'll leave that one in the air until we hear something official. Meanwhile, Randy Tolsma, who's right in front of you there, the IWX truck, announced this week that he will not be back in that truck next year. They're still toying with the idea of putting together a truck deal, but the team is going Busch racing without Tolsma.
You see right now that Sprague would take the points lead over Hornaday by 1 point. But again, this is Virginia's Lovers 200, not 41, so still got a long ways to go. To see Bobby Hamilton, the 1 truck, drive up on the inside of Tony Roper.
Hamilton's an 18th spot from 29th, so he's definitely going forward.
Andy Houston started 31st, up to 20th spot on lap 40. Come on, Bobby, make some bait. There you go. Get him uphill, and I'll drive in there myself. Oh, we got
trouble.
Spinning 2 behind. Caution is out. Caution is out.
That's Randy Renfro and Randy Renfro.
So the Randys have jangled up at turn 2 and bent up a couple of trucks, and then that's my cue to find out what the heck you did with my piece of sweet potato pie. Renfro told on you. Said there was 2 pieces over there, and you were supposed to invite me over for the other one, and I never heard a word about it.
There was an entire pie. There was.
That was. That's the last thing Renfro's thinking about right now. Let's see how it happened here.
There we see Tolsma, the taupe car or brown car on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets loose, goes up the racetrack, and spins. When he goes up the racetrack, bam, he backs in. He literally backed in the side of Tolsma, and Ruttman somehow got through. Did he hit the outside retaining wall? I don't think so.
Man, that was a break for Ruttman. Here it is again. There's the little first contact as Tolsma gets loose, and just a nudge.
Just a nudge, and look at Ruttman slam on the brakes, enough to bottom of the front out, and gets through the opening.
Ooh, was that Harvick that just about collected Renfro? One more look at it.
Oh, man. That was Boris Said that almost was involved there.
Yeah, Boris had a couple chances to get involved in that. Wild action in turn 2. It happens on 44 of 200. We're in Virginia where Sprague leads Corelli, Irvin, Wallace, and Hornaday. We'll be right back. He banter a bit after that tangle up in 2.
He's also been in the pits, and we're going green flag, but all of a sudden NASCAR has waved this restart off. Marty Reed, what's going on with Tolsma?
Well, Randy pulled it in, Benny, and they pulled out the right front fender. That was the only one that was rubbing, but he did manage to crinkle 3 out of the 4 on the truck. Now, one of the interesting tidbits about Randy Tolsma, he may need all this horsepower and speed. He holds the track record here, fastest car ever, USAC Silver Crown, at 131 miles an hour, just shade over 20 seconds.
That was a great race tonight. He set that record. Apparently, we've had some debris on the racetrack over in 3 that they've gone to pick up. Renfro has come to pit road. Jack Hewitt won that Silver Crown race tonight that that speed record was set, and it was a thriller. Old Jack Hewitt in the dirt came here and said, hey, I like this place, and went off and won the thing on Thunder on ESPN.
Well, that piece of debris has been picked up. We can see that the base truck has the lights, the yellow lights on top are out, so that means green flag when these trucks get back to the line.
Sprague, Corelli, Irvin, Wallace, and Hornaday, your top 5. You're riding in the 5th place truck here as we get set to toss the green back in the air.
Now we see Randy Renfro drive up in the MCI Dodge beside the leader, Jack Sprague. He'll try to do like Ruttman, try to get in front.
He didn't get a lot of damage in that spin, but he did kill the engine and lose a lap. Here we go.
And we see Hornaday driving to the inside of Mike Wallace, trying to take over that 4th spot. Wallace says, no, I don't think so.
Mr. Restart, Ron Hornaday, is he going to get the spot? Yep, he's got him cleared. Well, not quite, but as they get to 3, he should be able to. Well, Wallace comes back around the outside. Yeah, you bet he is. In a very big way.
And Mike Wallace's spotter saying, clear low.
Nice job, Wallace. I had written you off for 4th spot there, but he held on to it. Hornaday couldn't get around.
Mike Wallace might have learned something there. He might have learned that his truck is pretty doggone good. He might try to pass some of these guys on the outside, as we see Randy Renfro trying to keep on the outside of Rick Corelli in the Remax Chevrolet. Corelli, the number 6.
Randy doing all right there, holding his own. 2 by 2, they march around a full lap. You can see the side caved in on the 78s, where Tolsma got into him.
I think this outside driven Richmond works pretty doggone good.
Ernie Irvin sitting back there behind him saying, one of you boys go on there or Wallace is going to run right up my tailgate here. Oh, he's in trouble. Renfro to the inside, and he will gather it back up, and Irvin did not get collected in the mess, but Hornaday will get around Irvin.
Some contact between Corelli and Renfro, and I tell you what, Renfro and Ernie Irvin both did a terrific job not to lose control of those trucks.
Renfro was going to the inside wall in a hurry, and
Clear.
had Ernie kind of pinned down there with him, but they both saved it and kept on going. It started with the contact right about there.
There's the contact, and look at, now we see the contact between Ernie and the 78 of Renfro, and both those guys did a terrific job.
So as we continue the action, this is now the battle for 4th and 5th. Hornaday is 4th, Irvin is 5th. Crawford, who likes running alone, according to the earlier pit report, is back there in 6th and pretty much by himself. Nobody harassing him for the moment. Richmond is not a good place if you like running alone, because generally there's somebody to race with. Sprague's mighty good. He's checked out in front and left Corelli behind by 3 or 4 truck lengths. Corelli in turn is about 7 or 8 trucks in front of third place. There you go. There's the gap to third. Here comes fourth and fifth. That's a good race. Hornaday and Urban.
Clean racetrack, clear racetrack. Ernie Irvin in the federated truck might be as good as some of these other trucks, but right now, trying to find some clean racetrack is his problem.
Inside.
He's looking him over.
All clear. All clear.
Tried to mention Hornaday's Labor Day weekend. He went off and ran a late model stock car, and he tried while I was talking to him to remember where he raced. And he couldn't remember. He said, I know I wrecked the car, and it was my 3rd bad race in a row, and so now I got that out of the way. That's 3 and down. Here comes Ernie trying him.
All by himself. Inside, all by himself.
Ernie looking pretty good. Chevy up 5 in the manufacturer points if it ended right now. In this case, the Ford is getting the better of the Chevrolet as you ride in Hornaday's Napa GM machine. So give Ernie 4th and drop Hornaday to 5th. Hornaday came back, by the way, on Labor Day weekend to win a non-championship spec truck race in California and then race the Southwest Tour car. We'll be right back. With 64 of 200 laps in the book and pit stops approaching, Jack Sprague has just put his 46th lap in the lead in the book and is in danger of dominating this baby. But there's good racing going on all the way back through the field.
Check this race out here between Kevin Harvick, Mike Bliss, Greg Biffle, Stacy Compton, together 3 abreast. On the inside of Houston, 3 abreast there for second was Butch Miller. As he goes on the inside of Houston, now Houston's going to try to come back.
Look out.
Tails a little happy on Biffle's truck.
This is 14 plus. It starts with 14th spot. Harvick has come from 32nd starting spot to be in the thick of this.
And there's Joe Rutman. Talk about somebody coming from the back. He started on the pole, had to go to the rear, and now is working his way back to the field.
If you've just joined us, he was the pole sitter, but Rutman jumped the initial start. There's 3 wide.
Bliss backs off the gas.
Man.
Something is wrong with Bliss's truck.
I think so. Sure enough, they're all going by on the outside.
They're right there on the bottom, Mike. Give them the outside. Ignition boxes and everything. Get some wires, Bill. Get some wires.
From the engine man, Bill Pink, isn't it?
Yeah, believe so, and it sounds like it must be electrical.
Oh, contact.
And now here comes Houston up the inside and goes by Biffle. This is the battle for Cintas Rookie of the Year. And Houston, whose dad Tommy won the very first Busch race after they paved this racetrack, the old half-mile racetrack. Now his kid's back here racing for Rookie of the Year, and he just took over the 17th spot. Wow.
This is Greg Biffle looking back at Butch Miller.
As you look at the rookie points, Biffle up by 2 on Houston. Scott Walters, another, 28 points back in 3rd. Anderson, after crashing a truck, not having much success here this weekend. He's in 26th spot in the running order.
That was Scott Walters back there that Joe Rutman just passed. And looks like Butch Miller's going to go by Biffle, drive to the inside. Right now, Biffle in the Granger truck really is having trouble, really struggling to get it off the corner. Just can't get a grip off the corner.
Rutman is next in line to take a shot at him as Miller will take over the 18th spot, drop Biffle to 19th. That means Rutman is 20th. From the pole to last, back to 20th. An up and down sort of race. 99 Joe Rutman, going on 54 years old, oldest driver in the division. Let's get an update from Bill Weber on what's going on with Mike Bliss.
This is almost as bizarre as the Richmond story. Bliss did fall off the pace. First they thought he'd blown up. Then they thought maybe it was just a plug wire had come off. They were prepared for that. They were going to leave him out there to limp around. Then, as he gets passed now by the 84, they thought the problem had gone away, but he is losing some more positions. So indeed it could be he's running on 7 cylinders. What they want to get is a caution to get him in here and look under the hood.
Benny, it's about time for these guys to start making pit stops, or for some of these guys to start making pit stops. A lot of different potential strategies that could play out here in 200 laps tonight.
Yeah, we see Jack Sprague now trying to get by some lap trucks. That's Barry Bodine back in 30 seconds. Sprague goes by him, puts him a lap down. Now Tosma in the 61 will be the next victim.
Boy, he's got a ton of traffic in front of him, but he's got a little gap on Corelli. So as Sprague starts working the traffic, he'll need all the gap he can get.
You see Mike Wallace, he is their 5th place truck.
That's 4th and 5th right there, and they've been swapping it back and forth. And Tony Raines, last week's winner, is on pit road, first of the regularly scheduled pit stops. 1 can of fuel in, here comes the second. Again, this is for 4th and 5th, and for the moment, Bickle has the better of it in the Turbine Solutions truck. That is the Bickle-Smith Motorsports truck, and they will run a couple of more truck races and at least 1 Busch race. They're going to run in Miami, where Turbine Solutions is a big name. They got a lot of customers down there, so they're going to run the Miami race, but they may also run a couple of Busch races, Rich says. Take my money. Take my money. I love that story. 76 laps complete, 124 to go.
And we see Mike Bliss has gone a lap down in the 2 truck. He's back in 28th spot now.
Well, the moment appears to be about as quick as the leader, so apparently that's an intermittent electrical thing, and those are the frustrating ones, Benny, because it'll never sputter when it's on pit road.
Clear. Looking inside, he's there.
Now he runs up behind Brett Bodine in the 11 and B.A. Wilson in the 85. And Corelli's
They're
staying
behind him. That's all the leaders for a while, bud.
That's Eddie Thrapp talking to Mike Bliss. Eddie Thrapp is a spotter.
Second frustration in a row. Last week at Louisville, it was the late race pass by Raines that dropped Bliss to second, a race he thought he could win. Now tonight, an intermittent electrical problem has dropped him a full lap behind in 28th spot.
And you see what happens to these leaders once they get in traffic. Ron Hornaday that time had the quickest time. Rich Bickle was second quick. And we've got to go back all the way back to Bobby Hamilton, who was back in the 10th spot for their second quick time.
Hornaday now a little more than 3 seconds behind the leader. There he is.
As he goes by John Blewett.
Clear.
After last year's struggle here, it's been a pretty good night so far for Hornaday. Started 7th and has slowly picked him off to move up to 3rd. And it's not necessarily time to be hustling yet. We mentioned that Zawinski had trouble with the belts in qualifying. We note that the 31 truck is on pit road with the hood up, so perhaps they did hurt it.
For 11th spot, the 10 car is Lonnie Rush. He's just been able to get by Rick Crawford, take over that spot. Crawford in the blue 14.
So that's a recovery of a position for Rush, who started the race in 6th, dropped to 11th, and has now moved back into the top 10. Correct that. That is 11th, so he's not back into the top 10, but he is at least moving back in the right direction. He had fallen to 12th and then repassed Crawford.
Well, at least it wasn't an engine problem with Kevin Zawinski. I'm told it's a brake problem that has him on pit road with the hood up. And so far, 83 laps, and no one is pitted.
We're going to take a commercial break with Jack Sprague leading. We're almost halfway through the Virginia is for Lovers 200. We're back in Virginia. Tony Raines has crashed and brought out the caution flag. With 86 laps in the book, there is the damage to the truck that won last week in Louisville. He had just been in for a pit stop, was actually held on pit road, for some sort of penalty, went back out, lost it in turn 3, and I would assume that we'll probably have a look at that right now.
Well, Tony Range is going down the backstretch into turn 3, and here's where the trouble's going to start. Oh, he got loose getting in. Bonk. Not much contact, but a little bit. Here comes the leader down pit road.
And that ought to bring them all. Yeah, here they all come on pit road as Jack Sprague leads the parade to the pits. 86 laps into the Virginia is for Lovers 200. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Waiting on Ernie Irvin to dive into his pit. He's got some damage on the right front of his truck. We're going to change 2 left side tires and put gas in. They're full of trouble with the gas. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Up at the 24, Jack Sprague is going to get a wedge taken out. In fact, that's 2 turns that they take out. He's getting right side tires. They're going to tighten up the 6, and Sprague is already out of here. Oh, and it almost had a collision between Bickle and the 52 of Mike Wallace. Bill.
Ernie's away. Rick Crawford is away. Bliss sits on pit road. They believe it's a plug wire that come loose. They had the hood up trying to find the one. Now they're going to send him back out so he doesn't lose a lap. We'll check on that situation. All the leaders have left.
That's a good stop for Sprague as he got back out quickly after a pretty major chassis change. Took a couple of full turns out of the 24 truck, trying to keep up with changing track conditions as the temperatures cool here. This is going to move Mike Wallace up into 2nd spot and Bickle to 3rd, and the loser in that exchange on pit road was Corelli.
Oh, Hornaday. Ron Hornaday is coming back. Is this his first time by? Marty, what's going on with Hornaday?
It looks like Hornaday. Let me show you here, Benny, real quick. This is what happened. The air hammer, this is the air hose connection. It literally got ripped right out of here. He is coming back for a penalty because he left too soon, ran over the air hose, literally ripped it to shreds.
Wow, stop and go for Hornaday. That's a biggie. That's going to send him to the back of the field here as everybody else is going to parade by, and Hornaday is going to have to play a huge game of catch-up with his primary adversary for the championship, Jack Sprague, leading the race. Hornaday goes to the back of the field with the race almost half over. That's big. Man. So there is your top 4. Top 5 as Jay Sauter moves into the top 5 in the black 3.
Now we talk about the leader coming back to the line for the caution flag. That's the leader, the blue truck on the outside. Watch all these trucks trying their best to beat him back to the line. So the, wow, and Boris said goes sneaking right through the middle.
And it's a good thing he went sneaking through there, because if he'd have nudged old Jack right at that moment, I guarantee you tempers would have flared. So Sprague escaped that near miss, got to the pits, got quick service, got back out with the lead. Wallace got a great pit stop, as did Bickle. Actually, more accurately, I think Corelli did not, and he slips to 4th. Sauter is up into 5th spot. Mike Bliss has apparently not resolved the issue on the 2. Are we right about that, Bill?
Yeah, you are. Barry Dodson says it is something in the engine, so they don't believe they're going to be able to fix it. They did bring him back in and change the right side tires and send him back out, so Bliss will have to limp around. Another disappointing race for him. They believe it could be a valve problem on the 2 truck.
Boy, talk about disappointment. A disappointing season for Mike Bliss. Expected to be a championship contender. He's 14th in the standings, as the indication from Chris Morgan, 1 to go from the flag stand. Lights go out on the pace truck, and we'll be ready to put the green back in the air on lap 91. There's Chris.
There's our pace truck as he looks back at Sprague and Randy Tolsma. Tolsma, the right truck on the right. Mike Wallace now in 2nd, was 5th when he came into the pits. Jay Sauter was 8th. He's now 5th. And Ernie Irvin lost 3 spots. He was 6th before the pit stop, is now 9th. So I guess they made some pretty serious adjustments to Ernie's truck.
But the huge loser was Hornaday in the top 5, ran over the air hose on exit and went to the back of the field after the penalty. He will restart in 26th position. Marty, quickly before we go green.
Yeah, the big winner was Mike Wallace on pit road. They did an air pressure adjustment to tighten him up, right side tires, and he comes out after coming in 5th. He comes out 2nd.
And now Wallace will try to defend that gain, consolidate that gain, if you will, as we get set to go back to
Truck is off.
green flag. Sprague the leader with Tolsma down on the inside, the first truck in the lapper line.
Green, green, green.
Here we go. leaders, but Bickle was a little slow coming back up to speed and is now going to have a couple of lap trucks between him and the top two.
And Rick Corelli also is a loser. He came into the pits second, now he's gone back to fourth.
Barfield trying to find his way into the top 5. He's up to 7.
And check out Mike Wallace. Is something, look at Sprague's truck go up the hill.
Man.
These tires are just not working. Something is up with Jack Sprague's truck. He goes in the corner and truck went absolutely straight ahead.
I wonder if they turned that wrench the wrong direction. He has definitely lost the handle on the 24. Wallace darts by, takes the lead with ease. And the way Sprague's truck is behaving here, he's going to have trouble getting that back. Let's keep an eye on it. Didn't look that bad through there that time. At least it was halfway under control.
But he's losing ground. He's in the middle of the corner. The truck has just reacted so strangely right in the middle of the turn.
Changing conditions are always an issue at Richmond. You practice and qualify in the heat of the day, then come to race at night. The temperature drops steadily through the course of the event, and Sprague is paying some price for that. We're watching Houston in the 60. He is 9th with his hands full with Miller. Makes Miller 9th.
He's about to get a little bump there from Lonnie Rush on the inside. And to see Rick Crawford back, and here comes Joe Ruttman trying to work his way back to the front.
Crawford is going backward. There may be a problem there. Let's get more from Bill Weber.
Well, Dave, he's starting to move forward now. Between laps 60 and 82, he fell from 6th to 12th, and he lost a couple more spots on the pit stop. His truck has been very, very loose, so they tightened it up. They changed the right side tires, put a half rubber in the right front, and bumped up the spoiler, and he's starting to tiptoe back toward the front.
Crawford had started 4th this evening and kind of marched steadily backward. Got the earlier report from Bill that when he had traffic on either end, it badly affected the handling. But now they hope they've regrouped. He's back in 12th spot, having picked up a couple since the pit stop.
Corelli trying to get his way back to the front. He's up to 4th spot, and now Sprague looks like he's got his truck back under control. He's made whatever adjustments he needs to make. Marty, what's going on with Sprague?
Well, I talked to Dennis Conner, the crew chief on Jack Sprague's truck. They put a round of bite into it. Obviously, the tires didn't like it right off the start, but he is now back in side-by-side position, and he was not complaining on the radio, so I guess he was just waiting for the tires to come back in, Benny, because he's going for the lead.
That's a lot better truck than it was 5 laps ago.
Boy, it is. I mean, he looked like he had his hands full 5 laps ago.
Sprague trying to battle back into the lead, has led 73 laps of the event, 73 of 99. They've now run a lap and a half, doorpost to doorpost. Wallace does not want to give it back.
And he didn't. Hasn't.
And he still won't. And this could go on for a while, and that'd just be fun.
Isn't this great?
I love it. There's Harvick up to 17th position, as you note the summary, upper left. Harvick from 30, what did we decide, 32nd starting spot, provisional. On a pretty good run here. Pit stop wasn't good to him. Well, that's what, 2.5 laps now, side by side. Wear and tear on the tires running like that, Benny, or not?
No. I think the racetrack right now is in pretty good shape. And look at Rob Wallace. He keeps the lead on the outside. And here's Tolman out on the inside of Sprague.
Sprague decided he'd had enough of that and let Wallace go on the top side, moves back down, gets in line behind him. Tolsma is a lap down. You've just joined us. He crashed. Bickle in that yellow and black truck. No, you've not seen Bickle in a yellow and black 15 before. That's a new truck, and it is 3rd in the running order. Corelli in red and white is 4th. The black number 3 of Jay Sauter rounds out your top 5. Ernie Irvin, Ron Barfield, Jimmy Hensley, Butch Miller, and Houston round out the top 10. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with more. We're past halfway. Bill Weber and Marty Reed reporting on a heck of a truck race at Richmond tonight. Jack Sprague kept it interesting there for a little while as he appeared to have trouble after the pit stop, but is now stomped back past Mike Wallace. And here's how that pass happened. That suddenly, for Wallace.
Wallace just came off the corner. The truck just all of a sudden goes slap up the hill, so he has to back out of the throttle. And Sprague just sitting back there and waiting for that moment and drove by.
Jack Sprague has been the beneficiary of some bad luck for his primary championship adversary here. Ron Hornaday is back to 15th spot after suffering a stop-and-go penalty for running over the air hose on exit after the first pit stop. There you can see that Sprague has dominated the race thus far, and if it ended now would lead by 36 over Hornaday in terms of the points. Barry Bodine has crashed for the second time tonight. And is that Ernie or Boris?
Boris said is also spun on the bottom of the racetrack. When Boris gets his truck going, will not lose a lap, but Barry Bodine is sitting there. And Tolsma, unfortunately, will not get a lap back because the leader is right behind, Boris said.
Yeah, unfortunate for Tolsma. We were just observing that Tolsma has a very good truck despite having had a mishap. Whoa, wait. That's the old man right there.
Jeff Bodine going to...
Yeah, you don't need a spotter when your truck's wrecked. Jeff will be in action here Saturday night with the Cup cars.
We see some fluid coming out from under the truck, and evidently it will not roll as Barry's trying to drive. Yeah, that's beat up.
Yeah, the wheels aren't round.
I don't know. Oh, and see Boris said starting his spin.
Take a look from Boris's point of view, looking out the back of the 44. Rutman has another near miss in the 99, and everybody's coming to pit road.
I guess this will be our final pit stop of the day.
Marty Reed with the leader's pit.
Yes, Jack Sprague is going to come in, and they are going to put left side tires on, and you may be right, Benny. What looked like it was going to be a longer stretch now has turned into a second quick stop. They top off the fuel. And, Bill, you've got Ernie Irvin in.
He's already got right side tires. He's on his way. Had a small incident with the fuel can, but it's okay. Crawford's also in. Sauter got out early. He's having a great run. He took right sides last time, took two left sides this time.
See Jimmy Hansley leaving the pits. He has quietly moved inside the top 10. There is Hornaday completing his service. Back to Marty.
Big loser in the pits was the number 99 of Joe Rutman. They had changed left sides on the last stop, so they went for the rights because that's why he was losing ground. He'd gotten up to about 14th and then dropped back to 21st, but they had a very slow pit stop, and it'll be interesting to see where he shakes out.
Second wave coming in. The lap truck's on pit road now. I don't think we made quite enough note of the fact that all of Rutman's troubles here this evening have dropped him, if it ended now, 42 points back, or they just updated that to 27 points back from where he was in terms of championship contention. Here is Rain's view of the recent action. Of course, goes around after contact with Rains. And Rains is the finish of that story, Benny, because with his spin after the great charge that he'd been making in the win at Louisville and actually getting within 180 points and maybe having a shot at the championship, that wreck has left him 3 laps down tonight. So that charge is going to stop right here at Richmond.
Yeah, he's now 246 points down right now to the leader, Jack.
4th in the points, so that's going to make it real tough for him to catch up from here. Looking more and more like a 2-man horse race for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship, and horse number 24 is in the lead. We're going to take a break and be right back. Under green, yet the same race, folks. Lonnie Rush is leading it. Bob Keselowski is second. Ron Barfield is third because they did not pit on this particular caution flag. The race-long leader, Jack Sprague, is in 4th spot. We talked about a variety of different pit strategies. Keselowski in 2nd place has stopped 3 times tonight, stayed on the lead lap all 3 times, didn't pit that time, and the defending champion is second on the racetrack.
And Tolsma, once again, right in the middle of the corner, gets the truck a little bit loose as he's trying to get by Lonnie Rush in this 10 truck.
We've commented a couple of times, that's a good truck that Tolsma has. He is in 26th spot. He lost a lap to a crash, but has been able to run with the leaders ever since.
Now we see Jay Sauter on the outside of Jack Sprague trying to get by. And Sprague looks like when they go in to make a pit stop that his truck just is slow, getting back up to speed.
Happened on the last sequence. Sprague situation from Bill Weber.
Okay, 2 pit stops so far for Ernie Irvin. The first time they had trouble getting fuel into the truck, almost like the can was too heavy. They got the fuel in it. This most recent pit stop, the dry breaker, the filler cap that actually goes into the truck, came off of the filler can. Now, broke out of turn 1.
And the right front tire goes down on the 3 truck, I think. Or was that just... The caution flag is out. It looked like the right front tire, that they made some contact with someone and he knocked the bow stem off the 3 truck. And now, Tolsma will get that lap back.
That's a big deal for Tolsma. He gets back around Rush. We'll see if Rush, Keselowski, and Barfield might elect to stop now. Rush is still shown as the leader, and here's the damage to Jay Sauter's truck, which was nominally second. He was racing with Sprague before the incident that sent him into the turn 1 wall. Bill Weber.
Well, this was a potential winner, and now it's got heavy damage on the right front of the car, of the truck. Hard to see here from here where we're at. Obviously, the tire's flat. Pulling the sheet metal away, putting a new right side tire on. The field is coming by. Jay's going to lose a lap here on pit road, and any chance he had of winning is going to slide away tonight. He had a very good truck, had 2 very quick pit stops. Now he sits here frustrated, takes a drink, and they're going to need the big hammer to get out there and try and knock some of that sheet metal away. So we'll be here for a few minutes. The field goes by.
Big Hammers see their fair share of use at Richmond. It's a typical Saturday night short track. This one happening on Thursday night. Sauter, 6th in the points on pit road with a lot of damage. We'll take a commercial break, come back and sort this pit thing out right after this. Racing is a fundamentally simple activity. Go down to the end of the straightaway and turn left. Jay Sauter failed to do that, but with good reason, and we'll see in a moment how he managed to bend up what had been the 5th place truck so badly. Sauter has now slipped back to 27th spot, and here's why he didn't turn left.
That's the black truck there. He's going to get on the inside of Ron Barfield right there, the yellow truck. They make contact. That contact cuts down the right front tire. Look at it. The 3 truck goes in the corner. The right front tire is flat. It will not turn, and guess what comes up then?
Yeah, you bet. The wall. And so for Sauter, 6th ranked in the points, a very big disappointment. Here's another look from the guys behind. Once that right front's flat, you don't have a heck of a lot of control over what's happening. We have the indication from the starter, 1 lap to go. Still some remains laying hither and thither. I'm not sure they're going to go back green this time.
No, I don't think they are. As soon as no, that's on the back stretch. There's a truck driving. Hey,
hurry up, jump up, or pick that stuff up, get it out of the way.
Jump off.
Hey, the leader is Lonnie Rush, Ohio State Buckeyes, number 1 on the gridiron, number 1 on the racetrack. They're painted all over Lonnie's truck, and he has now led 11 of 124 laps in this one. Sprague's led the most with Corelli behind him. Corelli led early, and then Sprague passed him and has dominated most of the event. Here are the guys who have broken, bent, or otherwise removed their trucks from competition. Rick Crawford came in for a top-off. Boy, there's a frustration. That guy started 4th. Made a late pit stop here, got right side tires and fuel. He's going to go back all the way out at the tail end of the field, and by golly, we're going to get him back.
But he can make it the rest of the way now, and that was a concern why he had come in before, because he could not make it. Now Crawford at least can make it the rest of the way.
74 laps to go when they come by this time. Rush did not make a pit stop. Leads the race. He's got Sprague all over him as we go back to green.
And he's got Tony Raines on the inside trying to get a lap back in that Pennzoil truck. And we see Renfro on the very bottom of the... Is that truck rolling? Yes, barely.
Ed Pearson's going to be under power, but not much power. Randy Renfro's had a tough night. Here comes some more. There you go, the full field. Rush, Sprague, Irvin, Corelli, and Barfield, the top 5. This would be 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and others. Hornaday's in the middle of it. He's back into the top 10. Gained some on the pit stop.
And we see Wallace. And now Hornaday's backing off. As we see Andy Houston in the 60 truck. Added the truck on the inside of Mike Wallace.
Still out there. Still out there. Clear, clear.
Hornaday backed off, keep him stuffing it in the wall when Wallace got up alongside of him. Now he's got Butch Miller to deal with. Miller is 12th, trying to take 11th away from Hornaday.
Go there. Go there.
I could be a spotter.
You could be a spotter. I'll bet he couldn't be an expert analyst, though. And I know he couldn't eat as much sweet potato pie as you. Here is the leader, Lonnie Rush, under fire, and that means Sprague's going to make a run at it.
No, Ernie Irvin is now in second spot. Check it out. Ernie Irvin going for the lead.
3 wide. The left truck of Raines in the middle. Ernie says thank you very much and takes over the lead.
Where did he come from in this deal?
That's what I was wondering. Sprague was the next truck in line as Ernie came shooting by Sprague to get into position to pull that off. Rush now perhaps beginning to pay the penalty for not having stopped.
And once again, Sprague still really struggles getting that truck up to speed for the first few laps after a restart.
He's going to make his run at Rush right now. Pirelli is the next man in line. He is fourth as Sprague goes to work on Rush on the bottom. You're watching all this from Raines' point of view. He is 3 laps down, but running in the middle of the lead pack.
And folks don't look right now, but Greg Biffle in the 50th Granger truck just took over the 5th spot.
He's been coming steadily, consistently toward the front from 18th starting spot. Biffle is inside the top 5. Here's Sprague. He's going to complete that pass on Lonnie Rush. This is for second place, and Pirelli will be next to try in the Remax number 6. He's fourth. Reminds me of Indianapolis, where Lonnie Rush had such a great run.
And here we see Pirelli's on the inside. Oh, a little bit of did we see that happen to Lonnie Rush earlier today? And now Biffle's going to try to get by Lonnie Rush. He's there.
Lonnie's got his hands full. He's been out there a long, long time on these tires, and now he's starting to pay for it. Biffle goes by and drops Rush to 5th. Bickle goes by and drops Lonnie to 7th, and now he's into the side of Biffle. Biffle and Bickle having a battle here in Richmond. Wow. Biffle held on pretty well.
We about had a wreck. You know that, Dave? Another wreck.
Yes, we've about had a wreck every lap here. They just don't go up and finish the job by slapping the wall. That was pretty hard contact there between Biffle and Bickle.
Yes, it was.
That short track race in this baby's only 3/4 of a mile. It's kind of configured and looks like a super speedway, but it drives like a short track.
And now Tony Raines, the Pennzoil truck, has been able to get by Ernie Irvin. He's now back. I guess he's still a couple of laps down, but Bill Weber, what's going on with 28? Where did he come from?
Well, he came charging through the field, but Benny, the bad news for Ernie Irvin is he may not have enough fuel to reach the finish, because on both their stops they had problems with the fuel can. The last time they barely got any fuel in. They're not sure they can go again. Go to the end without getting fuel again.
Man, don't tell me that. He just did, though, didn't he?
I'm afraid so. Sprague, we would assume, is in shape to go the distance here. Here is the battle for, let's see, what is it? 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Hornaday getting around Barfield will make him 9th and drop Barfield back to the tail end of the top 10.
Meanwhile, we see Butch Miller right behind them on the inside of, is that Mike Wallace? Looks like Mike Wallace.
Yeah, it should be. Wallace has slipped all the way back to 12th. He was a contender a couple of caution flags ago, but the handle appears to have gone away on the Kenny Strader row number 52.
Here we go.
He'll run 3 wide, though.
This is pretty exciting stuff.
Look at Wallace.
And Terry Cook, the 88 truck, also coming through. And then we see Joe Rutman. He's back in this deal, although he was in this deal to begin with. It's a long story, folks. We ain't got time to get into it right now.
Rutman is 14th. As we have mentioned a couple of times, Sprague would be the point leader after all the problems for Hornaday. But look how close it would be now with Hornaday picking him off and moving his way back up toward the top 5. Hornaday is now 9th, and every position is worth 5 points. So if he gets a couple more guys out of the way, he will be in position to hang on to that tenuous point lead heading into the final 6 races of the season.
Let's see. This is a battle somewhere back there, but hey, they're side by side. All I know, it's a battle.
Yeah, Tolles was the one I wanted to check on. Randy Tolsma is now 19th. Remember, he unlapped himself the previous caution flag. That's the truck you're looking at right there, watching the tailgate of the 61. He's lost his job with that team for next year, and a lot of people were predicting a great run here tonight, inspired by that change in employment status. The Tolsma would go out and try to impress people. He got in a wreck early, got a lap down, but now has battled back into the lead lap in 19th spot.
You see Scott Walters trying to get on the inside of Barfield, and that looks like that's a battle for the 16th position. He takes it over. There's Kevin Harvick trying to get on the inside of Tolsma. I guess Tolsma going on the outside of Harvick is what's happening here.
Barfield's going backward in a hurry, too. That was a pretty good truck when he struck out that pit stop.
Well, he stuck at that, and I think the same situation as the 10 truck, Lonnie Rush. He's out there now with those worn tires and really suffering beside of it. And Sprague now, after 10 laps or so, he really gets this GMA C3 truck up to speed, but it takes him so long to get it up to speed.
Well, Ernie's about to find out how up to speed it is. I thought Barfield made a stop there, but maybe not. And anyway, in any case, he's struggling, and now this is for the lead as Jack Sprague goes after Ernie Irvan. Side-by-side Chevy versus Ford battle in turn 2.
We saw this before on the outside. Mike Wallace really gets that gate. But now we see Biffle on the inside of Pirelli. He will take the 3rd spot away. And now here comes Rich Bickle on the 15th truck.
3rd, 4th, and 5th in tight formation across the start-finish line. Biffle from 18th starting spot driving a heck of a race here. Andy Houston is 6th. He started 31st. Took 2 tires on the last pit stop. Andy Houston, second-generation star.
Oh, we got a big crash. Big crash.
Good going, good going. Caution's going to be out. Yellow's out. Yellow is out.
Yeah, that'll bring a ton of caution out. I didn't get either of those trucks before they slipped from view. Harvick. Oh,
Barfield.
That ends a great run for Kevin Harvick, who had come from 32nd starting spot to run inside the top 15. Well, I won't say it ends the run because he's still got the truck running, but it certainly seriously damages his opportunity here. Let's go ahead and pop the commercial break. Jack Sprague looks like he's looking for a pit stop, perhaps. There's Hornaday's people, we should say Irvin's people. We'll be right back.
If you need a car and...
We're back. We're under caution. The Virginia is for Lovers 200 at the 3/4 mark, and we're under yellow for the big wreck involving Harvick and Barfield, and we can give you a little more insight into how this all got started now as we run through the replay sequence. Here is the mess that was created as Harvick got into Barfield, and both of them went spinning.
Looks like pretty good damage to the ortho truck of Ron Barfield. That's the yellow truck, number 35. Kevin Harvick doesn't look like he's got too much. You ever see Boris Said, the Federated truck, he just touches the 75. Now watch when he tries to gain control of the 75, he has to go up the hill to do so. When he does, he runs into Barfield, and he runs into the wall, and we can see the left front tires lean in about 2 inches, 2 feet, so that's...
You really see it right there. Boom, there's the touch. And that's what turned Harvick. Barfield, innocent victim. Harvick didn't hit anything very hard and should be in position perhaps to march back partway through this field again, although he did lose a lap. And the remains of the ortho truck being hauled away here as we approach lap 150. It will be completed under caution, and we'll have 50 to go. Biffle made a pit stop under that caution. We'll talk more about that when we come back. We're back. Commonwealth of Virginia rocking and rolling with short track action. Trucks tonight, Busch Cars tomorrow, Winston Cup Saturday night. Let's go to pit road. Bill Weber first.
Wow, this is a reporter's dream down here. There's going to be a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking Friday morning. Ernie Irvan did not come in. They think they have enough fuel to reach the finish. They're not certain, but they said they came here to win. That's why they didn't pit them, because they never would have gotten back to the front. As for the 50 truck of Greg Biffle, he darted on the pit road, got right side tires, no adjustments. He's got a fast truck. Marty.
Jack Sprague would only pit if the race leader pitted, but two that did, Rick Corelli and Mike Wallace, they both were losing ground to the leader, so they came in, they both put right side tires on as we're ready to go green, guys.
Corelli, Biffle, Miller, and Wallace all pitted. They'll restart 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. They were top 6 and 7 trucks when the caution came out. We're back to green with Ernie leading it. He doesn't know if he can make it on fuel. This is going to be a wild 50 laps, Benny.
now by Rich Bickle in the 15, so the 60 truck, Andy Houston, put him up in that third spot.
Ready to challenge Jack Sprague. There's Sauter. He's a lap down after a big wreck, a lap or more. Actually, he's the first truck a lap down.
And see, all those trucks got riding on except Andy Houston's. So, folks, he's looking for somebody to put some riding on the side of that 60 truck. This is his onboard camera. See all that says 60. That's his number.
She's a Chevy. Addington Racing, the coal mining plant out of West Virginia, backing this truck, and they've had a great season. Won a race at Loudon, in contention for Rookie of the Year. Dad Tommy Houston as proud as he can be of this young man. Rightly so. Third on the racetrack, and that's from 31st starting spot. Wow.
So, ever see Corelli trying to get by with those new tires, trying to get by Scott Walters in 37. There's Biffle trying to follow as well as he goes by Rick Crawford in 14, trying to go by. Now he's trying to go by Scott Walters, and does both.
And they're coming to the front in a hurry, but they've got to hurry. Just 44 to go. As you see, upper left, these are the guys who made the pit stop. Figured they were struggling a little bit, didn't have a chance to win without it. But now, in order to win, they've got to go through an awful lot of traffic to get back to the front.
Joe
Rutman now 8.
Started first. That's really not exactly right. He started 36 because he was black flagged on the first lap for jumping the start.
Rutman has been up and down the ladder. Fast man in qualifying. Started from the pole. Black flag to the back. Made a pretty good run. Then had problems on a pit stop. Lost some of what he gained. But has now marched back into the top 10 and runs an 8th spot.
Jay Sauter gets his lap back. There we see a battle for the 6th spot between Jimmy Hensley and the Cummins Dodge and Lonnie Rush in the 10, the Ohio State Buckeyes truck. And there's Rutman trying to go down the outside, and there's Corelli and Biffle driving up on the outside with those French tires.
Hensley trying to wrestle that spot away from Rush, not yet successful in doing it. Gentleman Jimmy sitting in 6th spot. Dodge hoping to win again here tonight. Keselowski got him some screen time by staying out on a pit stop, and now Jimmy has raced his way into the top 5. Look at Rutman on the bottom, trying to make it 3 wide. Rush says, I need to get away from these guys. They're nuts.
Man, oh man, that's a wreck looking for a place to happen too.
Corelli hustling to the front after the pit stop, coming after him.
And Biffle was trying to pass Hensley on the outside. He was already trying to pass somebody on the outside. Now, Biffle will go to the inside.
160 down, 40 to go. That's why these guys are in a hurry. Corelli is under Rush, touches him, he goes by, chases Rutman into the 7th.
Oh! Biffle almost lost control as he made contact with Lonnie Rush.
Biffle is pedal to the metal. He got passed by Corelli in the pit.
Now we see Tolman just shouldering Jimmy Hensley out of the way as he tries to go by.
And this is for position. Tolma is now back in the lead lap. Goes around Cook. If he can complete that pass, he'll be 11th. Tolma had been a lap down after a wreck. Now he's back knocking on the door, trying to get back into the top 10. Hensley's going backwards in a hurry here. Crawford is next to take a shot at him. I think Jimmy's truck's gone south.
Looks that way.
A lot of action here. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th position. And none of them want that to be their finish position for the night. Here's the interval up to the leader. Sauter's able to get away from the Ernie Irvin and Jack Sprague battle. I don't think that whether or not Ernie can make it on fuel will decide this. I think Sprague will race him before this is over.
Yes. Once again, back to the battle. Here comes Tolma once again. Gets by Lonnie Rush, and they get together, and Rush has to back off. That cost him how many more spots? 2, and we see who's that drove to the inside? Terry Cook drives to the inside of Tolma. Now Crawford's going to try to get. You see it, folks. Just watch. Don't go to the
Don't try to keep up with it, Betty. There's just too many of them doing too many crazy things out there. Compton's going to get up into that. We haven't given him much of a call tonight. He is the number 86, twice a winner this year. A lackadaisical kind of a week for him. He's been ill all week, and as a result, has not been a contender. He's currently 16th. There he is, dead center in the screen.
And you see Tony Roper going by on the outside.
The Ice House truck working on Compton for the 16th spot. Miller trying to get the job done on Rush. Will finish that pass. Move Butch to 13th. Rush to 14th. Hensley's now 15th. That's going to move Roper up to 16th. And here's the battle for the lead.
Craig is on the inside. Ernie Irvin, the 28 truck on the outside. Off the corner.
Ernie's good on the outside.
He is good on the outside. Boy, is he good on the outside. What a grip he gets.
Man.
Retains that lead.
Well, they both learned a little bit from that episode. That comes at lap 168. Sprague not finished with him yet. Comes up, nudges him a little bit in the tailgate just to let him know there's more to come. Laps beginning to wind down. 32 to go this time by. Sprague working on Irvin. Jack Sprague looking for his fourth win of the season. Hornaday is tops in victories with 5. If it ended now, Hornaday would be your point leader as he is in 5th position after going all the way to the tail of the field after a pit stop violation. The fans have turned out Richmond International Raceway for Thursday night truck racing. 175 of 200 in the book. Ernie Irvin with 2 very big questions. 1, can he make it to the end on fuel? 2, can he hold off Jack Sprague? Here's your battle for 7th. It involves the championship leader, Ron Hornaday, and he's got his hands full with Rick Corelli.
Still there now, still there. Still there.
Oh, Sprague was trying to get under that 28 truck when he turned that wheel and the back end said, I'm going out.
Man, serious loose.
Serious loose is correct.
And he just about got up into Ernie in the process. This has been going on now for about 10 laps. Sprague moving up, taking a shot, taking a look. Ernie holding on. They ran a couple of laps side by side. Sprague may have a quicker truck, but has not been able to make the pass.
I think once if Sprague could get by, I think that he probably would be faster than Ernie, but he needs all the racetrack to do that. And we see when Ernie comes off the corner, Jack needs to let that truck go out against the wall. He can't because there's a truck there.
And Ernie knows that, and he's keeping him pinned to the bottom the best he can. Ernie's got a good truck on the outside. They've had refueling problems on the pit stop. They don't know if they can go the distance, but Ernie and the team said, hey, we came here to win. So if we can't win, we're certainly not going to stop again. And now they go, oh, look out. Sprague got into the left rear, got him way loose. Will shoot by on the bottom, but will he finish the pass? I would have said yes if it was anybody but Ernie Irvin around the outside.
Here comes Ernie. He's still there. If he can just drive it in, maybe he can come off the corner. No, Sprague has the spot.
Yeah, Jack Sprague retakes the lead. Chevrolet dominating in terms of laps led here tonight with Sprague leading most of them, 85. That total of 129.
Right now, I think the 2 fastest trucks on the racetrack right now, as we see Tolza trying to get by Hornaday.
Inside, by himself, inside.
And that's 4 more championship points that Ron Hornaday is about to lose.
And it is a tight battle for the championship with Sprague having taken the lead. He just picked up 5 points. Hornaday just lost 5 as Tolzma, I'd give him the pass at this point. And that's going to move Tolzma to 7th spot. Here comes Hornaday back up the outside. Ooh, look at that.
Still there.
Tolzma has had a very impressive run back from the crash that left him a lap down. Now Hornaday does clear him and hangs on to 7th spot. Man. Well, Sprague, in fact, has driven away from 2nd place. We're close to the end. That crew's looking pretty proud, but it isn't over yet. We'll be back to wrap it up. In the book. There's Jack Sprague. He's driven away from second place. Here is the second place battle. Mike Bliss, number 2, a lap down. Number 60, Andy Houston, from 31st starting spot, has caught the runner-up, Ernie Irvin. The difference is a truck length as they go into 3.
But Joe Ruttman also is right behind us, and Greg Biffle. They're running 4th and 5th right now. They've been able to get by Rich Biffle. And they have the lap truck of Mike Bliss. He moves over, lets these two good trucks go. And remember, Biffle, 11 laps to go.
Ruttman restarted 28th after getting back onto the lead lap and has now come all the way back through the field to 4th. He was the pole-sitting truck. Biffle led that group of 4 to pit road on the last caution. It was Biffle, Miller, Corelli, and Wallace. They all pitted. They have now come back to 5th for Biffle, 7th for Miller, 10th for Corelli, 12th for Wallace. Biffle was up there racing Biffle during the tail end of a commercial break, but now Biffle has driven away from him in 5th spot. Biffle still sits 6th. This is for 9th spot. And it is a group. Hornaday with Corelli, Cook on the outside, and the 52 of Wallace.
They're all clear, all clear.
Crawford is 13th. So that's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Corelli trying to get on the inside of Hornaday.
Inside, inside. He's there, inside.
They drop the flag now. Sprague would lead it by a point over Hornaday. If Corelli makes this pass, we'll change that and make it 6. That in terms of the championship battle. Inside 10 to go.
Go there. Got another one coming. Inside, 88, inside.
Corelli with a little contact there with Hornaday. Then that lets Terry Cook get up alongside. Cook out of Sandusky, Ohio. Went straight from late models to trucks. Here's the race for 3rd, and around goes Houston.
Oh, and this is going to bring out the caution flag.
Up before, just in the middle of the track. Come through on the high side. Come through on the high side.
Hey, there's
Keep on
more
coming to the
contact,
caution.
and that's going to get Hornaday caught up.
What?
He collided with Wallace.
Come on, come on, come on.
So Houston made a great run. Then he makes contact with Joe Ruttman, and around he goes. Tough break for Andy.
Wow. All this bringing out the caution with 6 laps to go. Biffle got to 3rd. We're going to take a commercial break, sort it out. Don't go home, folks. The best is yet to come. We'll be right back to wrap it up. A dramatic development in the closing laps of the Virginia for Lovers 200. Bill Weber.
Well, Ron Hornaday has just been on pit road. He has substantial body damage to his Napa Chevrolet. They changed left side tires. His left front obviously a mess. So Hornaday's bad night gets even worse. He may be back to see if they can do anything about the suspension before they go back to green here.
Hornaday losing the championship point lead here as a result of the damage that you see right there. It all started with a spin for Andy Houston. Here's the beginning of it.
He and Joe Ruttman get together. They go up. Houston spins in the 60 truck. Now just watch as all these trucks continue by Houston as he's spinning. Now they're going to come all around him on the inside, on the outside. Now watch as they come on.
The next bunch of trucks are the key.
Right there we see Ron Hornaday and Mike Wallace and Terry Cook all get together.
Wallace, in coming by Houston, had to move up to clear Houston. He hit Cook, and that got Hornaday.
Here's Seaman. Andy Houston's on board down the backstretch. Ruttman is there.
Now it takes a minute, but here they come. Wallace dodged Houston, hit Cook. Cook hit Hornaday, and as a result, the championship point leader is in trouble. And there'll be 2 to go as the green flag goes back in the air. Remember, Sprague's truck has not run a lick on
faster truck is the one with the freshest tires. Can he do anything with them? Coming down with a white flag, this time by.
The time Jack Sprague really needed it to. His truck has performed. He comes to the white flag with a 3-truck length lead over Irvin, and it looks like Sprague's got him handled. I thought there was some doubt the way that truck behaved on the last 3 restarts. Biffle may have something for Ernie. As Ernie gets a little loose, that'll be for second as Sprague leads him down, looking for his 4th win of the season. Jack Sprague becomes your championship point leader and wins the Virginia is for Lovers 200. For 6-5, they're nose to tail across the stripe. Bickle's going to hold off Corelli to get that spot. Holzma in the middle of that.
And Butch Miller will get a 5th place run tonight.
Wow.
What about that for Butch Miller? Attaboy.
An amazing sequence of events at the tail end of the race. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Dennis Conner, congratulations. They're never easy, but that was pretty dramatic.
Well, I was standing here with about 10 laps to go, and I knew it could not go to the end with being just green, you know, having that kind of a lead. Just doesn't seem to happen, especially in this competitive truck racing deal. He's probably going to tear it up there now. But GMAC Financial Services Chevrolet, she worked really good. Jack complained the whole day about the package motor was not to his satisfaction, but I'm telling you, it was fast.
And they're on to victory lane. Congratulations to Jack Sprague.
Well, the motor certainly handled the victory donut successfully. We'll take a break and hear from him when we come back. Sprague scores his 12th career victory, his 4th of the 1998 season, and Marty Reed is there to meet him.
Well, they're having trouble getting the window net down, so the victory lane celebration is being slightly delayed. But a very happy Jack Sprague. I don't know if he's done the math yet. Jack, come on out of here, and the crowd wants to cheer for you, and he's pulling the wheel off, and we'll get him out of the truck and let them do their thing. The crew has already made it up here. Jack had a little trouble finding victory lane. He did the donuts, then came in through pit lane, and actually victory lane's right in front. So here's the celebration. All right, let's get down here and get down to business. You were awful on restarts until the last one.
Boy, I tell you, first thing you got to do is say hi to my daughter, Paige. I've been forgetting that, and she's letting me know about it. But this team, GMAC Chevrolet, was awesome. Just the setup we had, it'd take 5 or 6 laps to get going. And once it got going, it was real good. It was real conservative on the tires and didn't wear them out too bad. And I can't say enough for Dennis Conner and this whole team. And like I said, I'd like to thank Jim, AC Financial Services, Chevrolet, GM Protection Plan, Quaker State, Rotary Lift, Haas Machinery, everybody that's involved with this truck, and you know, hopefully we can go to Memphis in 2 days and do it again.
Hey guys, he's got a 60-point lead, and the history of this series, the guy who leads coming out of Richmond wins the championship.
That has been the pattern in the past. Take a look at your top 15. Sprague winning it from 2nd. Biffle from 18th to 3rd in a good run. Rutland started on the pole, went to the back, came back to 4th. Miller went forward. And there's the rest of the field down through the unofficial results here, Benny. This was a real up-and-down night for a lot of people. And a wild finish here sees Jack Sprague hold on for the victory. A big loss for Ron Hornaday. We'll be back to wrap it up.
First, let's talk about the start, Joe, the black flag for jumping the green.
I didn't think as old as I was I could jump anything, you know, but I guess I've been watching Hornaday so much I wanted to get a good start, but the old Ford Exide leaped out, and I guess they felt that was too much, and, you know, going to the back was not what we wanted, but, you know, I guess if we impeded a penalty, we had to take the penalty and do the best with it.
You fought your way back through the field, and late in the race, you and the 60 got together.
Well, I was a little better than he was, and I got up alongside of him, and I'm sure he didn't want to give it up, and I don't know if I slid up a little bit, but I sure didn't want to take him out because I was digging for a better position, you know, so, and I didn't look over. I was worried about my truck, you know, but I'm sure that he didn't want to give it up, and if I'd have been in his position, I probably wouldn't want to give it up either, but, you know, I hate to see anyone spin, but we had a faster truck, and I was going for number 2 and number 1, so I didn't have any time to wait.
Okay, thanks for your time. Congratulations on a good run.
Thank you.
Joe
That little
Ruttman.
bump fest was after the checkered flag, as the driver of the 60 truck Houston let it be known that he didn't like it. Hornaday has lost ground, lost the championship point lead. Sprague now on top of the heap. Ruttman and Raines. Well, Ruttman held on tonight, but Raines lost a lot of ground. Benny, it looks like it's a two-man fight for the title, but this was a tough deal for Hornaday.
No, it's still a three-man. Joe Ruttman is only 110 points back, and we see that was a 75-point spread between Sprague and Hornaday tonight, so Ruttman is still in it.
Here's the rundown for the weekend, and we got a ton of NASCAR action coming to you from Richmond. Going to qualify for the Bud Pole. You'll see it on the news tomorrow, 5:30. Then the Busch Cars tomorrow night at 7:30. Moving ahead to Saturday, RPM tonight kicks it off at 5:30 Eastern Time. Then NASCAR today, followed by the Cup race at 7:30 Eastern Time. The X-Side NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Sunday, the action continues. RPM today, then more truck racing. I'll be in Memphis to bring you the Memphis 200, immediately followed by the Kart FedEx Series cars from out at Laguna Seca Raceway. All right, congratulations to Jack Sprague on his 4th victory of the season and the 12th of his career. For Benny Parsons, the boys in the pits, I'm Dave Despain saying that's it from Richmond International Raceway, but there's a whole lot more racing to come the rest of the week on ESPN and ESPN2. See ya.